to the vision in a patient with albinism, the best thing to say is that detailed vision is lost, so that small resolution type targets are difficult to see, but the patient has no appreciation that this has occurred. There is no sense of blur, and interestingly enough, there's no sense of movement, even though the eyes have a profound movement back and forth called nystagmus. One of the nice things that can be said about all forms of albinism is that the worst the vision can ever be is on the first day of life. And as the nystagmus gets better, the vision only improves. The patient with albinism requires routine reevaluation so that the spectacles and contact lenses are constantly brought up to date. And once again, I want to emphasize the importance of an ultraviolet filter being placed in lenses early in life and continuously in all forms of glasses and contact lenses to protect the patient with albinism from the damaging sun rays to the lens and retina.
People with albinism have developed many ways to compensate for their low vision.
What strikes me in this particular store is the fluorescent lights. There's so many fluorescent lights on the ceiling. The lights are very clear, they're very distinct, and they reflect in the linoleum. But that is about all that I see clearly.
The term functional vision refers to the ability to use all sensory clues in order to accomplish a task or to function in a particular setting.
Hi, you know, could you tell me where the dental floss is?
Dental floss is all the way back against that wall, when you right across from the back of the wall.
How I find things is to go to the shelf where I think they are, and then I look for them one product at a time. And I usually scan across, but sometimes I scan up and down.
A monocular is a tool used to enhance functional vision.
I'm looking for 1124 Solano Avenue, and looking across the street, I can only see large letters. I can't see the small numbers, but if I take my monocular, I'll be able to find, and there is 1124 right there.
The way I've handled driving is that my son, when he got his license at 16, he and I bought a car together.
I paid $1,000, she paid $1,000. In exchange, I take her where she wants to go. I get to go around, I get to hang out with my friends, and I take my mom to the BART station, to the store when there's an emergency.
Many people have chosen to use bioptic glasses for driving. These glasses require special training, and the laws for their use vary from state to state. Some individuals do not have the visual acuity to use bioptics. One drives primarily with the normal or carrier lenses. A small telescope drilled into one or both lenses is used for spotting important signs or situations. Ocular albinism affects primarily the eyes. It causes a visual impairment similar to other types of albinism.
We didn't get a diagnosis until Bryce was actually 3.5, because they told us it was just nystagmus. It wasn't a portent of anything necessarily, may go away, and we realized his vision was not getting better.
An issue of vital importance to all persons with albinism is sun protection. Damage from ultraviolet rays of the sun causes many people to have problems with skin cancer in adulthood.
Today, I have a lot of problems with my skin because the protection wasn't available with sunscreens when I was a small child. You know, for example, I went to summer camp in the Adirondacks, and of course I wanted to be like all the other kids, and we swam out in the lake at noon, and then we went canoeing at 2 o'clock, and it was very intense.
It is necessary to develop the habit of using sunscreen daily. Ongoing consultation with a dermatologist is advised. Hats, UV-coated sunglasses, and tightly woven or protective clothing will also minimize the effects of the sun. Although persons with albinism can spend time outdoors and enjoy sports and other activities, they must be very careful to protect themselves from sun damage to their skin and eyes.
By and large, I believe the patient with albinism should be allowed to do as much as possible and find their own limitations rather than limitations being placed upon them beforehand. Many patients with albinism become excellent athletes, runners, skiers, People who enjoy the outdoor world and athletic activities, they discover these things on themselves, and we should not limit their exploration.
Probably the most difficult aspect of Cameron Plain